So what's the difference, friends, between a domain or a task or enabler? Any sense?
No, I don't know whether it's going to be correct, but domain can be like, I can work on a IT domain. Some other person can work on a engineering, civil engineering domain. Is that what it refers to, Dr. Sam? Domain?
Yeah, it can remain. It can refer to that also, and it can also refer to, for example, that in the space of project management, how do you deal with this issue of managing time, right? Time management, right?
Okay.
Schedule management. So,
Okay.
does the project manager have any specific task to perform there?
So in layman's language, is it like the domain, the area you work on, and the tasks you perform for those areas, and then enablers is how you get it done?
Awesome, fantastic. Yeah, exactly. So the idea is, hey, you are a project manager. Do you have any tasks, or you just tell the team, go and do it? And then will you enable it? Can you tell us how to do it? No, I'm not supposed to tell you anything. You go figure it out. Have you seen people like that?
Yeah.
So that's the idea here, that, hey, the project manager has to be really involved, right? They have to know, they have to deliver specific tasks. They're responsible for that. And they have to enable and give an example. I want you to go and build this system. And then this is how I want you to do. Now, that may not be 100% accurate, but a fair understanding that will give some idea to the team, and then the team can, get together and think about it and find solutions. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So now the three domains that we talked about, we'll very quickly touch that. So friends, the idea is that every hour and a half we take a break. Is that okay? Because sitting for 4.5 hours is a little tough. So in about 10-15 minutes, we'll take a break. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And in those 15 minutes, I intend to complete this presentation. How's that?
Yeah.
And then you've already seen that I don't talk much and I let you talk a lot. So you be ready for it. A good project manager is a good enabler. Is that right?
True.
The task is to make sure that it happens in the given time with the given set of requirements, with a defined scope. The scope here is PMP. The time is an hour and a half, 3 sessions, 2 sessions, 4.5 hours, because time can never be accurate, right? Exact. Human beings are not defined like that, designed like that. We're creative. The moment you put everything on just time, then you take away the creativity of the team. Is that right?
Sure.
On the other hand, time is important because, otherwise I'm working on this wonderful project. Nobody knows in the team what this guy does. He comes every day. He calls himself a data scientist and he draws $500,000 salary from the company. And Google bought him because they bought his company. But we have no idea what he does. Do you experience that?
No.
So that's why, having some idea is very important, but not maybe the total idea, because total is incomprehensible and not human. So the first one, as a project manager, you have to take care of your people, right? It is not just handling the machine, men, machine, and material, right? When I was doing my MBA way back in, if I tell you how many years ago, you will be able to figure out my age. But I think Indians are smart enough. They figure out if his daughter is 24 years old, and he must be like a 70-year-old man, but I'm not. I'm only 40 something. Just kidding. So friends, the idea is you take care of your people, not just the machine and the money, right? A good manager is a manager of men, machine, material. So people. Now, people can be your team members, or people could be your stakeholders, right? What kind of people you deal with in projects, friends?
Both,
right? People. You could be excellent in working in technology, and you are the best Python developer. But if you are not good in working in a team, probably it will be very tough for you to survive in a collaborative project management environment. Is that a fair estimation?
Yeah.
All right. But you as a project manager, once you're PMP certified, have a lot of responsibility, right? Do conflicts happen in project?
Yes, a lot.
What kind of conflicts? Can somebody give an example?
Conflicts with respect to allocating time for the project tasks.
Okay.
Conflict with respect to approaches, architecture.
Very good. What should be the architecture of the system, right? Who should work on this team?
Correct. Yeah.
So as a project manager, if somebody comes to you and asks you this question, what will you say? No, I don't know, you go and figure out, or you will try to solve that problem.
Resolve it and move on.
Very good. So you would kind of evaluate that, right? And you will make some recommendations. You may not have all the answers. Sometimes you will go and find the answers because you're not an expert on that subject matter. So where this conflict is coming from, the context, at what stage is the conflict? It's in the beginning stage. It is easier to fix problems, right? But if it is too large and two teams are fighting for it, then it's a big problem. So in Google Teams fight with each other, Monica?
I haven't seen them fight here. I mean, I used to see that a lot in Apple. Yeah.
And I'll tell you why, because Sergey Brin or Eric Smith, one of them, created a policy, zero fighting policy.
Yeah. Yeah, I do see conflict between coworkers or between different stakeholders amongst themselves, but the actual fight, kind of like where you cuss each other out, I saw that at Apple when I was working.
Yeah. And Google was the smart company, because Steve Jobs was a taskmaster, right? Google, these are PhD guys from Stanford, right? So they were educated. I'm sorry, I don't have any, I mean, you guys, everybody has got likes and dislikes, but I'm giving my 2 cents. So these guys said, everybody fights here. So what do I do? So they said, okay, all right, 100% policy, zero tolerance for fighting.
Yeah.
So that is set the stage, because he said what he meant was that if you're intelligent, if you're smart, come sit on the table and talk and resolve, right? Don't get personal, focus on the issue.
Yep.
That was the idea. So, and that's exactly the job of a project manager, right? You will have to deal with conflicts every day. When you are leading a team, right? They'll ask you, why are we doing this project, right? Some projects are just stupid projects because they are the pet project of the senior VP. And they don't go anywhere. Am I right?
Yeah.
Some of them have some vested interest also, because there's some smart vendor who sold the tool and now the company is sitting on that doing nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So as a project manager, you have to lead that team. You have to tell them what is our goal and answer those questions. And as a servant leader, you will have people from India, you'll have people from Mexico, and you'll have people from England. Anybody of you has a team which is spread all over the world?
Yeah, I have. I'm sure Karun has.
Yeah, sure.
Offshore teams are very common to have in IT.
He was from the offshore team, I believe, because Standard & Poor is an American company, and they might be the team
Absolutely.
in India, right? So
Absolutely.
So understanding that piece is also very important. And do you think as a project manager, you have to help your team, you have to be a steward, and you have to positively engage them in the project?
Yeah, we need to, for the successfulness of the project. Yes.
Sometimes do you feel that they have emotional challenges and they're upset a little bit because they think things are not going anywhere and you provide direction and guidance?
Yeah. Happens.
Okay. Do you sometimes present options to them to solve problems? Have you tried this? Have you tried that? Can we try that? Can we? And here again, it's the idea is not being very dictatorial, right? Because go do this.
Yeah.
That is Apple style, right? But not Google style. How about NetApp? Is it similar? Like it is more aligned to Apple or Google? Be honest.
Yeah. I mean, from a people perspective, Dr. Sam, this is one of the like, acceptable companies around the Bay do value people values. So it's not like, detective or dictating anything to get things done. It's always a collaboration.
Mhm. Also, do you think as a project manager, you talk to your team member and say, hey, I think you're doing very good. I thank you for your work and I really appreciate what you're doing. And this is how I think that it can further be improved.
Exactly. And that is a legacy that I've got from my managers earlier in the days itself, Dr. Sam. So that's something that I continue to do. Like, even for small work, just give some appreciation in front of a group that makes them, like, perform more.
Yeah, wonderful. Any other thoughts from Monica or Iti on this slide?
Oh, you're good to go. Yeah, but I think involving a team, giving them background of all the project helps a lot in getting tasks done. It's like it's always better to impart knowledge about what's being given to them, why are they doing it, than to just give orders like you have to do it, and then also get their feedback on how they also want to plan the whole thing out and getting it done. Make participation is very important.
Yeah, because that to add to that, if that is the use case, then we don't need a PM. Actually, they can go to a DevOps board and take a look at what is there and get things done. So I think that human empathy thing, that's what the project manager has to do.
Yeah.
Awesome, fantastic. And see, somebody might say, hey, Sam, you are making us talk. You're not teaching. So you are supposed to tell us you are the expert. Versus, no. Everybody has some knowledge and let's learn from each other.
Yeah.
Which do you think is a better approach?
Second approach.
Yeah.
Doesn't that make my job easy?
Yeah.
Right. But often in companies, project managers get asked this question, what do you do for us? And sometimes they don't have an answer. But they're enablers, they're facilitators, right? They're not supposed to be dictators telling everybody what to do. You go do this or you're fired.
Yeah.
Right? That's not how we make things happen. We support our team. We lead a team by example. We manage conflicts day to day. And then do we help improve the skill set of the team?
Yes.
You have to. You should.
Okay. How is that possible? I hired you for $200,000 and I'm paying you so much money. You're supposed to know this. Does it happen?
Yeah.
It doesn't happen that often.
Should it happen?
It shouldn't.
It should or shouldn't?
It should not happen.
Shouldn't be a repetitive affair, rather, I believe.
Very good, very good. And the idea is that, everybody is in a different stage in life, right? Even if you've sat in a whole session and learned artificial intelligence, you may not be fully cognizant and aware of it.
Right.
So teams are dynamic. As project manager, we have to empower our teams. And everybody is different, right? How often do we face a problem in the team members? There are 10 team members and 3 of them are like expert, very skilled, but 3 of them have mediocre skills and 3 of them are still learning. Do you experience that?
99% of the time.
Okay. So how do you handle that?
It's always the communication and trying to analyze who can do what, and trying to, I wouldn't call it as a politics, but maybe trying to understand the people and segregate the work is the way to do. And not to induce any politics that way. Hard to handle, but you have to handle.
Very good, very good. And see, the people who are at the beginning level, you train them, right? You help them why don't you go and take a training on this?
Right.
You enable them and you build them, right? Because as a project manager, you are building your team for the future, right? Your job is not to get the job done today.
Right.
You have to mentor and coach and guide and help and facilitate as a project manager. How does it sound?
Very true.